and Massachusetts.
Good choice.
Yes, yeah.
And you're moving from where?
Well, we have a train. Our headquarters currently is in Malta, the country Malta, which is located in the European Union. We will continue to have, so the IT is based on an outsourced basis in Mumbai, India, and so the IT will come in-house. And in Malta, we've actually hired more people. We continue to grow in Malta, but it will be now exclusively a sales platform and telephone training platform. The virtual classes, we have copies here of our, we've taken 6,500 square feet of space with an option for other space in Middlebury, and you can see the studios here. We originally planned to have the virtual studios in Malta, but decided to locate those only in Middlebury. Because there's some problems with speed of internet that makes it not auspicious. So in Malta, telephone training platform, sales platform.
Given that you work all over the world, are you a 24-hour-a-day company?
Yes, we do. We don't yet work all over the world, you know, from your lips to God's ears. But at the moment we work in Europe and in China. But it will be 24 hours. Yes.
So whoever works for you will have to work from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. or something like that?
Round the clock. No, we'll have 3 shifts. No. we'll have 3 shifts. Yeah.
Where is your space going to be in Middlebury?
1197 Exchange Street. Right here is the layout. It's been designed. It's Carrera that owns the building. It's where Vermont Coffee is located, if you know. And it is Judith Harris has done the design for Carrera, and the design is right here. It's really quite beautiful. They're not now. They're tearing it down, but the design.
Had you ever been to Vermont before this mission?
Oh, yes.
What first brought you
on
here?
all of the board meetings. My fingers were crossed, yeah. No, I spent 2 summers at the language programs, as the dean knows, in the Russian program and Chinese programs. And then my husband had a research project affiliated with Fletcher Allen. He's a geneticist, and worked with John Evans. And we came back every summer, lived on Vulcan for about 7 years. Winters as well, but mainly in the summers. He worked in the pediatrics for them.
Where do you live now?
We've just taken a house, a rental for 3 months near the Covered Bridge in Middlebury, a couple that's going to Florida, and then a home in Ripton for 7 months with an option to buy.
But you're moving from where?
I live in Paris and Malta. I sort of live wherever we're selling. So.
Great answer.
Yeah. Very clear. So.
Those 28 jobs, are those all newly created coming from local people, or some of that staff coming from overseas?
No, no one is coming from overseas because we're really growing, and they're all new jobs. Yeah.
Can you describe their compensation?
Well, that's always a little risky because the negotiation's then in the paper, but I can tell you there'll be well-paid jobs and very competitive on a national scale. They all qualified for veggie funding, so you can imagine. That's not an easy standard to meet, I can tell you. But we may have some part-time people. If we had, for example, a student who had particular linguistic skills who wanted to work, we'd be delighted. But there will be principally their long-term permanent jobs.
Middlebury's reputation for language training and education, there must that factored in. I mean, can you just talk about that at all?
Yes, it was obviously critical because we have. I said to the chief financial officer, to Patrick Norton, we already gained enormous goodwill by simply putting it as a zip code down. The name of Middlebury has a resonance in the United States and abroad because of its long distinguished history, not only as a great educational institution, but for languages. So it was obviously very important for us, and part of the reason for us locating in that town. And we hope to do cooperative projects with them over the years ahead. So it was very important. And the majority of their students work in other foreign languages. Many of them stay in the area and would stay in the area if they could. And so the fact that they offer us the linguistic capacities was a big plus. In fact, a critical.
Может быть, я буду работать.
I only have Yes, but-
C'est aussi.
Yes, of course, yes. So
He's
I just like-
campaigning,
just
he only has
because-
one
yes.
course in Middlebury.
You know, it's funny because I speak Russian, when I speak French all the time, of course you can imagine. And Russian, when my Russian friends come and they speak to me in Russian, I answer them in French, because the foreign language track of your brain gets a language. And as soon as I have champagne or a glass of scotch, freely flows. It says a lot about you.
Any other questions for Deborah or anybody? Yeah.
Yeah, I have one more, and that is, how much will it cost you to move to Middlebury? Is there an overall cost that?
You mean for the company?
Yes.
Well, we don't really think about it as actually moving as much as relocating a function here, because the outsourcing in India costs us nothing. Our contract with Tata was 3 years, and we renewed it 1 year to make this decision where to build our own team. So that costs us nothing. And in Malta, you know, the management is rather light, so those people will all stay there. And what the space in Middlebury is for is really to prepare the future. So there's no real cost of the move. On the other hand, I can give you some of the figures. We've committed to about $300,000 in CapEx expenditures. 100, and I have the figure I think in front of me. We committed to 105 jobs. When we submit our final application, it's going to be raised to 128. So those are the relative magnitude. It's a serious investment for our company.
Thank you.
Could you just go over again the dollars that the state and related organizations have put?
Of course.
Is it in that sheet?
Here's a copy.
See
Oh, no, actually, you're right, it's not. No, I can send you what's it, 175,000, 175,000 in loans from Vita.
Vita, right?
Veggie, the Veggie calculation is always based on the final application, so there's no figure. I don't think you can give one yet, Fred, right?
No, but the initial was 248,000 that they would earn over the 4 years of job growth.
And then the 200,000 equity investment, which was very important to us. And then many kinds of in-kind goodwill support for many other quarters.
Great. Thank you all for coming.
Yes,
Some
thank you
coffee
very
in
much.
Danish and